The Witches, Roald Dahl, graphic novel by Penelope Baju. Bam. Oh, there you are. I was looking for you. They're all gone. You coming? There are lots of cake left. You want ice cream with it? Grandmama, Mom and Dad say you shouldn't smoke in the house. Oh, okay, fine. Then again, it doesn't matter anymore. You want ice cream? It's just not fair. I know, Angel Face, it's not. It's not fair. Grandmama. Yes, Pumpkin? Are you sleeping? No, I drank too much coffee again. Grandmama, you're not leaving, right? Right? And just where would I go? No, Dumpling, this is my home from now on. Home is wherever you are. You're my family, my everything, and I'm so grateful. So relieved you had your seatbelt on. Can you imagine, Cupcake, to think that I almost lost you? Grandmama. So you promise you never leave me? Well, as long as you can put up with my cigars. Yes, I promise. Can you tell me a story? A story? A story, or why don't we watch TV instead? Mom used to tell me amazing stories. Okay, fine. Okay, let's see. Just a sec, a story. It's just, well, I don't know how to make stuff up. I only have real stories I could tell you about witches. I was thinking more of a sweet dreams kind of story, but okay. Oh, please, aren't you a little old for fairy tales? I'm 8, exactly. Practically an adult. You ready for the truth? Besides, it's the only story I know. Okay, I'm ready. Let's see. For my first witch, I must have been 5 or 6 years old. Now, I didn't actually meet her exactly, but one of my classmates did. We walked home from school together after every afternoon. I'll never forget the day she took out a candied apple after school. Wow, where'd you get that? A lady gave it to me. A lady? What lady? Just some lady, a nice lady with white gloves. Was it a witch? Did you see her? What happened to your friend after? Don't you start interrupting me every 2 seconds, okay? Okay. Now, admittedly, I had no idea what a witch was back then, but the next day at the time we usually met up, there was no sign of my friend. So I went knocking on her door. As I recall, her mother answered. Her parents told me that after dinner the night before, their daughter had gone to bed as usual, but the next morning, she wasn't in her bed. She had disappeared. But now I know what you're going to say. People don't just suddenly disappear. Well, my friend did. The police looked for her everywhere. For weeks, she had simply vanished into thin air, and she was never seen again. But she was. I remember this painting in her parents' house, an oil painting, rather classical but interesting nonetheless. A farm scene with ducks. I had gone over there for news of my friend one day when, excuse me, I think you should come and see this. Their daughter was back, and she was feeding the ducks. You're pulling my leg. That's just silly. You saw her feeding ducks. Was she waving hello too? Well, of course she wasn't waving hello. She had been turned into a painting. Do paintings wave hello? Okay then. The poor thing was frozen motionless. You could see the brush strokes, the thickness of the paint, as if she had always been part of the painting. But the most incredible part is that the next day she had changed places. The day after that, same thing, and so on, and even more mind boggling was that she kept growing older in the painting every day for years and years until there was no one left in the painting. So she died? Who knows? Very strange things are known to happen in the world of the witches, but after my friend disappeared, I started investigating and I heard about 4 other children. Let me see. It was a few months after the painting incident. First, there was a boy who was also never seen again. Then another unfortunate boy was turned into a dolphin, and a girl was turned into a hen. Her parents were heartbroken, but at least they now had a fresh egg every morning. Last but not least, supposedly another child was turned into a stone statue. Kind of practical if you think about it. Those poor kids, I remember it like yesterday. Do you swear on your life that all this is really true? Of course I do, I swear. There you might to spit now. No, that's okay. I will never lie to you, honey bun. You hear me? Adults should never lie to kids. Personally, I always speak the truth, even if it's terrifying. That way, the day you meet a witch. Wait, what? You mean they still exist? I thought it was only when you were little, like 100 years ago. Nope, no such luck. Which is why I'm going to teach you how to recognize them. I'm an expert. But, but if a witch climbs in through our window tonight, nah, no witch is silly enough to climb up the side of the house, the boy. You will always be safe with me. Grandmama, are you in there? Grandmama. Okay, okay, what is it, Sweepy? Can you throw down the saw? Throw down the saw. What is wrong with you? Thanks. You certainly are making progress, Buttercup. Yeah, I'm trying to figure it before the summer's over. It's good to set goals for yourself. What does that mean to set goals? Let's see. It's when you tell yourself you're going to something that seems difficult but important. Get it? Yeah, for instance, you should get a goal to stop smoking cigars. It scares me when you cough. Nonsense, my cough isn't from my cigars. It's got nothing to do with that. It's it's that horrible perfume the neighbor uses. Stop pestering me. Let's change the subject. I know the other night I teach you how to recognize a witch. Thanks, but I already know how. What Ward's pointy hat? Nope, not even remotely close to that's the case. It would be easy to spot them. Okay, fine. Shoo, go smooch somewhere else. Okay, so, are you listening very carefully? Yes, Grandmama. I hope so, Cricket, because I hate repeating myself, and what I'm about to tell you is extremely important, okay? The main thing to know about witches is that they are not actually women, but they look like ordinary women. It could be her. What's her problem? Or even your new teacher when school starts up. No, don't say that I'm already dreading going back. Now, luckily, there are some foolproof signs to distinguish a witch from a woman. They're not obvious, but I know what they are, so listen very carefully. Forget about all those ridiculous witches and fairy tales. A flying broom? Seriously. All those silly ideas were invented long ago, at a time when people believed they were seeing witches everywhere. It didn't take much for a woman to be accused of being a witch. People were suspicious of unruly old women and believed they had evil powers. So you mean they might have called you a witch? That's entirely possible. Just getting together with your friends was kind of considered suspicious. Simply not having a husband or treating your cold with herbal remedy was enough to get you accused of dancing naked with the devil. In order to prove you were definitely a witch, they would throw you in the water to see if you would float. She sank. I suppose she was innocent, and they find very persuasive ways to get you to confess. Okay, okay, yes, I'm a witch, a unicorn, a parrot, anything you want. Oddly enough, Old Man was never accused. The creatures the creatures I'm talking about have nothing in common with those poor women who were hunted for no reason. They don't have warts or pointy hats, and as far as I know, they have better things to do than dance around in the nude. But most importantly, these witches are very dangerous, and they always take the form of a woman. But why? That's just the way it is. Vampires and werewolves look like men, and witches look like women. But they are twice as dangerous as vampires and werewolves, especially for kids, and they are everywhere. They live all over the world, they wear ordinary clothes, have ordinary jobs and friends. That's why they are so hard to spot. But when they all have in common is their dislike, their disgust, their red hot sizzling hatred of children. They can't stand children. Kids literally make them want to vomit. A witch's soul's desire is to get rid of all the children, one at a time, stamp them out, put them through the grinder. One child per week, minimum. Otherwise, they get really grumpy. How do they kill them? Now, that's even as a witchophile, I can't say exactly, but one thing is certainly a witch carefully picks her prey, then stalks it with the cat-like stealth. And when the time is just right, she pounces on her victim, and then the child vanishes? What? How? I have no idea. At any rate, no witch has ever been caught by the police or gone to prison. Luckily, there aren't too many around nowadays. I think there are about 100 in England. They live in every single country in the world, but they all obey the same queen. The most powerful one of all, the Grand High Witch. She's very mysterious and only rarely makes an appearance. Besides, to the human eye, she too would look just like a perfectly ordinary woman. So how can we spot them then? Well, like I said, they're creatures that have to constantly wear a disguise in order to pass for ordinary women, but easier said than done for them. There are still some things that portray them that can help unmask them. It's no guarantee it lasts, but based on my research, here are a few details that could be useful to you. Hands. Witches wear gloves all year long, no matter the season, in order to hide their claws and their wrinkly fingers. Head. Witches are totally bald. They wear wigs, but the chafing on their scalp 365 days a year drives them crazy. They are prone to what we call the itch. Witch succumbing to the itch. Feet. Witches don't have toes. Their feet are square. They hide their feet year-round in closed-toe pointy shoes, which are very uncomfortable. Smile. Witch have blue spit, blue as a blueberry, which gives their teeth a slight blue tinge. Eyes. While human eyes have ordinary black pupils, so witch pupils are full of dancing ice crystals and fire. Nose. Witch nostrils. Witches have large, twitchy nostrils for sniffling out children. Right. Let me guess. This is when you tell me to make sure I take a bath every night if I don't want them to catch me, right? I know I'm going to regret telling you this, but no, it's just the opposite. The dirtier you are, the less they can smell you. It's not your dirtiness that bothers them, it's the smell of cleanliness, actually. It makes them sick. Witches call them stink waves, and those waves aren't as strong if you haven't washed in, say, a week. Dirt covers up your natural smell. To me, you smell like strawberries and ice cream. But to a witch, you smell exactly like a steaming pile of dog droppings. So if you see a woman holding her nose while walking by you, that should tip you off. And that's all I can tell you about witches. I hope it'll help. You can never be sure you're actually dealing with a witch, of course. But if she's wearing gloves and a wig, if she has big nostrils and eyes like ice, or if her teeth have a blue tint, the run is fast and as far as you can. Let's see. It's not this one. Nope, not that one either. Arr. Grandmama, did you ever meet one